I purposefully ruined my cousin and ex's wedding, and it's brought me a lot of happiness. I once looked up to my cousin. I thought he was a great guy, and we were close like brothers. I was also dating a girl. I was deeply in love with her and planned to marry her someday. I thought my life was perfect. One day I came home early because a colleague offered to cover my shift. I was pretty tired, so I accepted and went home. Arriving home, I found them in my bed, having sex. Both of them were shocked, to say the least. I told them I wanted them to be gone by the time I got back and left the house. They were gone by the time I did get back, but she left me a note telling me she was sorry and to call her when I'd calmed down. I didn't call her. I texted her saying that I'd gather her things and drop them off at cousin's in a few days and that she's staying with him now, not me. I followed through with that. It took about a week to transfer everything. Both of them tried to apologize but I didn't have anything nice to say to them, so I said nothing. I just knocked the door and handed the bags to whoever answered before leaving. My cousin called me multiple times to try to apologize, but I refused to accept it. 3 years have passed since then. I went no contact with them. I didn't bring it up to the rest of my family or any of their friends. I'm not sure why. I just didn't. I got a call from a number I didn't recognize, so I answered. It was my cousin. He sounded really happy and was acting like he hadn't destroyed my life. He explained he and my ex were getting married and he wanted me to be his best man. I was so angry that he had the utter gall to act like nothing was wrong and lost my temper. I yelled at him and called him names before hanging up. He sent me a text telling me the offer still stood, and if I didn't want to be his best man, then he just simply wouldn't have one. A few days passed by and I had an idea. I texted him back and apologized. I sent a paragraph of BLLS it saying I was still angry, but this could be an opportunity for the three of us to heal and move past it. He was overjoyed and said he'd pay for everything and he'd help me pick out a suit if I wanted, which I accepted because I sure as it wasn't going to spend any money on his stupid wedding if I could help it. The wedding day came. I had spent the week prior writing a speech, putting all the negative feelings that had bottled up over the years into words on paper. The wedding was pretty good. I'm sure one of them has some nice well-paying job or something, because they must have spent a decent bit of money on this wedding from how nice it was. Our entire family was there, as was a decent chunk of my ex's family. Eventually the time for my speech came. I just remember feeling really nervous as it built up to it, and my voice kept faltering when I was reading it out, but I didn't and still don't care. At least I got it out. I explained what these two horrible people had done to me. I called them the worst names I could think of and wished them the worst. Then I left. I was expecting some kind of dramatic moment from all the guests, gasps of shock and all that, but there was none of that. Everyone was silent. On my way home I got a call from my mother angrily telling me that I'd ruined the wedding, and both of them were so upset, and she asked me why I'd do this. I told her that they deserved it for what they'd done to me, and everything I'd said in the speech was true. She kept defending them, so I swore at her and hung up. Since then I've gotten several calls and texts from others in mine and my ex's family angry I ruined the wedding. I've also received a few texts from people who were there being supportive and telling me they were there if I needed to talk. I'm not sure if I feel better having done this, but it did bring me great catharsis when people were telling me the wedding was ruined. At least now they've felt at the very least a fraction of what they've made me feel. Just a little edit to address some common questions. As far as I'm aware, the rest of the family wasn't aware of her cheating on me. They likely knew we were dating at some point, then we weren't. I've learned from previous stuff that I can't rely on my family for any kind of support, so I've been on low contact with them since I moved out of my parents' house, which is why I didn't mention this to anyone in my family. A lot of people are also asking for the speech transcript. I wrote it in a Google Doc and read it out from my phone. The delivery was kinda lackluster. I sounded like I was going to cry and tripped over my words, but I managed to read it all out. It isn't verbatim what I said, but it's very close, as I was reading from this as a general script. Hello everyone. I'm not very good at public speaking, so apologies in advance. It's an honor to be at this wedding, and an even greater honor to be the best man. I was shocked that I was even invited at all, since the last time I'd spoken to the bride and groom was when I'd found them ducking in my own bed. Ex's name was my partner at the time, you see, but I don't think she got the memo that when you're dating someone you don't duck their cousin in your partner's own bed. And it wasn't like cousin's name didn't know we were dating either. Who knows how long this slimy CNT was ducking her behind my back? Weeks? Months? For those unaware, Ex and I had been dating for 2 years. I loved her with all my heart, and was actually saving up to get a proposal ring. Maybe if X wasn't such a W or cousin would be giving this speech instead and I wouldn't have been struggling with mental health for 3 years. Anyway, I've heard 50% of marriages end in divorce. I hope yours is a messy one. From the bottom of my heart, duck you both. You ruined my life, and I will never forgive either of you. Redditor's reaction story 2 after. Redditor 1, lol, that's savage. Honestly, what did they expect you to do except the fact that he stabbed that knife in your back and basically causes you so much anguish and hurt? I'm amazed they were stupid enough to invite you. Redditor follow up, not just invite him, ask him to be best man? Like when I read the title and started reading I thought the cousin was marrying some other girl. Not his ex. I'm happy you ruined their wedding, lol, I got mad reading this. Redditor 2, it's the fact that your cousin had the audacity to ask you to be the best man at his wedding with your ex that cheated on you with him. He's a complete idiot, if nothing else. You don't go from not speaking to each other for years after a conflict betrayal to asking the person you hurt to be the best man at your wedding. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. They deserved what they got for hurting you and then inviting you to their wedding to hurt you again. Redditor follow up, the only way this gets worse if they asked him to be the marriage officiant or something. Be prepared to turn them down when they ask you to be the godfather to their kid or some s at lol. Redditor 3, you sir deserve a drink. Hats off to you. Op answer, I made sure to help myself to as many drinks as I could before we sat down for the speech. I think the alcohol gave me enough courage to do that in front of my entire family and hers. Story 2, I've been raising someone else's child as my own and recently found out he's not mine. So I had a GF who got pregnant and since I was with her, I assumed it was mine. Fast forward, the baby is 14 months old and I found out yesterday that I'm not the father. She confessed it and honestly it has really affected me. I can't sleep, I can't eat, and whenever I think of it I feel like hot oil is poured on my heart. I feel so used since she knew from the beginning and kept it quiet. I don't have a stable job yet, but I did everything for her and the baby. I just feel betrayed because why would she do me like that? She's 22, I'm 23. My heart hurts so much and I can't talk to anyone because I'm disappointed the baby isn't mine. She was sobbing saying the BD doesn't do anything for the child but they still talk. She doesn't want me to leave and she's coming over today so that we can talk it out, but personally I don't want the baby daddy drama, so I'm not sticking around, but it burns and hurts. I just hope others out there don't go through this because it's hell. I think she just wanted someone who would support her financially and I was the weak link. I love them both but I'm hurt she cheated, got pregnant and didn't even trust me enough to tell me. Any advice? Redditor's reactions. Redditor 1, baby daddy doesn't do anything for the child but they still talk, bro, get out of there quick. Redditor follow up, 100%. Ops instincts are right, I know it must hurt but get the hell out of there ASAP. Redditor 2, she's still talking to BD, that shows you're being taken advantage of. Redditor 3, if you're going to walk away, you have to do it now before the child gets any older. Take a look at what she's done. She's purposely held you in a spot where she can always ditch you and you'd have no rights to that child. If I was you, I'd find a job somewhere far away. Get a way to clear your head and get a new perspective and do it quickly. You need to remove yourself from the situation. I also think you should spend a little money on a therapist, cause being screwed over like this leaves a deep mark and you don't want to spend your life being bitter. What she did to you is awful. Normal people don't do that to each other. Whenever you try to justify her actions in your mind, remember that you would never make someone live their lives based on a lie you concocted. Best of luck, buddy. Remember that this isn't normal female behavior, this is the behavior of a selfish liar, who cares not for others but herself. Redditor follow up, she's purposely held you in a spot where she can always ditch you and you'd have no rights to that child. Yup. Walk away and never look back. Redditor 4, cut and run. You will be better off. It's her mess. She has no one to blame but herself and literally used you for money. Redditor 5. Bounce. Fast. Redditor follow up. No terrible idea. Immediately get onto a lawyer solicitor. If you can't afford it, ask a friend for a loan. This is so important you act fast here. If you're on the birth certificate, it may still be possible to remove yourself and your child support obligations, but you need to move lightning fast. If you're not on the certificate, you're in a better spot, but you definitely still need to get a lawyer to make sure you actually can just bounce without it ducking you over later.